Hers purrs.
No, I think that would be a good one. I think that would be a good... Ram Chargers.
Ram Chargers.
It would be.
On the other ticket. Another time.
On the other ticket.
On the other ticket.
On another ticket. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Daily Biker Podcast. What up? I am Marcus. I am your clueless leader, and we're going to go on a learning journey together today.
I don't know how much learning we're going to do in here.
You know, at some point in time, I'm going to have to quit being the clueless leader because... Actually, so to get technical, I am the clueless leader because most of the time, I don't know what's going on when we start the podcast.
And to be completely honest, I don't think any of us actually know what's going on. Yeah. I know we've said this before numerous times on the podcast. This is completely unscripted. We don't know what we're going to talk about until maybe about 5 minutes before when we all sit down and think, oh, what would be a good subject to talk about today? Mm-hmm. And that's where we go from. And it's just generic conversation. I mean, or not generic, organic. Sorry, that was the word I was looking for. Organic conversation between the three of us currently, sometimes 4, sometimes 6, sometimes 5.
It just depends.
It just depends on if No Show Jones decides to join us.
Speaking of No Show Jones, that voice you're hearing talking now is Daniel.
Hey there. I don't know why that would be speaking of. All right.
Whatever.
Well, because I never did the introduction of who was here before you went on your rant.
That is true. Sorry. I like to go on rants. You cut me off last time.
Hey, rants are fun sometimes.
Also with us, we have Miss Muffin.
Howdy, y'all.
You know what I need to do real quick? And I'm going to grab this and hopefully not spike anything.
Introduce Bo and Ginger.
Oh, Bobos.
They both are dead.
Are Ginger over there?
No.
Yeah. No. They're dead.
I'm going to turn this on airplane mode.
We don't need those phone calls, probably.
Yep, we don't need them phone calls. So, anyways, I'll also have, laughing in the background, Miss Muffin.
Howdy, y'all.
So, poor Bobo.
I know. That limp is the one we were talking about.
He was fine outside. He's faking for show.
Well, we're gonna find out tomorrow.
Hey, Bobos.
Because he gets to go to the vet.
Oh, the vet.
Yeah, I'm glad you covered his ears.
So, anyways, you have some news for the world of the Daily Biker.
I have purchased a new motorcycle for Stephanie.
But you have relinquished ownership of another motorcycle.
I did. Just 2 days ago, I relinquished ownership of... Heather, watch your drink there.
Yeah.
I have relinquished ownership of the 2004 Yamaha V-Star 650 and have acquired today, as of this morning, a 2009 Yamaha V-Star 1300. And
I'm still going to say first because it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
First fuel-injected motorcycle.
It is the only currently fuel-injected motorcycle that I have in my garage. So it has the least amount of carburetors out of anything that I have currently.
It has the least amount of fuel points from anything you currently have in your garage as well.
That fuel points?
Yeah, so it's a twin.
Well, it's a throttle body injected.
Right, but I'm saying, so it's a twin cylinder.
Yes.
Your ZRX has how many fuel points? AKA carburetors.
Yeah, 4. Yeah.
Your Z has how many?
4.
And your Honda has how many?
6.
And this has one throttle body.
Yes. So, yes, fuel points.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes. I have
not... The point of fueling.
Yes.
Is the fuel
I've
point.
not heard... That is not something that I've heard regularly described as a...
I don't think I've ever heard it described as a fuel point.
Yeah, so that's... Sorry, I looked at you like you were crazy.
I am crazy.
Well, we know that.
We know this. It's fine.
But our purchase today was as we've talked about on the podcast before, Stephanie, I had purchased a Yamaha V-Star 650 for Stephanie as a proof of concept to see if that's the type of motorcycle that she wanted. She has ridden my bikes. She's ridden the ZRX. She's ridden the Honda Valkyrie. She's ridden the KZ. She's ridden a few older Hondas that I've had. Heather, if you want to take off his collar.
Oh, yeah.
So she's been around motorcycles, and honestly, the only cruiser that she's ridden is the Valkyrie, which, Marcus, I think you would agree, is a very large cruiser overall.
Yeah, I wouldn't even consider the Valkyrie. Like, when I think of cruisers, I wouldn't think of the Valkyrie.
Yeah.
The Valkyrie is more of a stripped-down touring motorcycle.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, it's a gold wing without all the big fairings and everything on it.
And a metal gas tank.
And a metal gas tank. Yeah. And no plastic gas tanks for me.
Nope.
Nope.
Do you have side covers on that thing?
Yeah, they are plastic.
That's the only plastic.
Yeah, that's the only plastic. Everything's metal.
Yeah.
Everything's metal on that bike. Oh, actually,
Compared to a lot of gold wings.
Compared to a lot of gold wings. But that's the point. So I don't really, me personally, I don't have that cruiser. I'll still consider the Valkyrie a cruiser style. I feel like that's a fair assessment that it is a cruiser style motorcycle. But you're right. It's a.
I wouldn't put it in the cruiser segment. I don't put stuff like that in the cruiser segment. Just as much as I don't put it a gold wing in the cruiser segment.
No.
I don't put like electric glides and stuff like that in the cruiser segment.
Okay.
Because those are touring bikes. They're purchased. Let's rephrase that. They're built with the full intentions of long distance riding.
True. I would say, though, the Valkyrie's kind of stripped down just a hair from the touring bike.
It is still...
Yeah, it's still a touring bike. It is still a touring bike. Okay. I'll concede.
You're talking about a motorcycle that came from the factory with saddlebags and bigger seats and windshield and stuff like that.
It's made to be comfortable sitting on the highway.
Correct.
At 75 miles an hour.
Correct.
That's what it's made for.
Correct.
And
which is completely different than a V-Star 1300.
Yes. Or even your motorcycle.
I put my motorcycle in the touring class.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So although,
well, you do have that big front.
I mean, what class would you put mine in?
Well, that's what I was.
Mine comes from the factory. Mine is a stripped down, sportier version of a motorcycle that comes with a large seat, floorboards, engine guard, navigation, radio.
True. Okay. So it's a.
You see what I'm saying? Mine's just mine is essentially the equivalence of exactly what yours is.
Yeah.
Mine is the stripped down version.
Well, mine
has a fairing.
Mine's also 10 years, almost 20 years. Yeah, 20 years older.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, actually, I'll agree with you. I'll concede. Like I said, I'll concede.
It's still not because I think when people say cruiser,
it's a generic.
They don't picture a street glide or a goldwing or anything of that nature. They picture a fat boy.
Well, I'm actually going to disagree with that.
Or a VTX.
A fat boy and a VTX I do agree with. But I think when someone says a cruiser, they see Harley Davidson, everything Harley makes to a majority of people.
I still don't think they picture the big baggers though.
Probably not.
I still think they picture like a fat boy.
It's still typically, what does a cruiser have as far as an engine power plant? V-twin.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of V-twin road bikes. Now, I'm not talking about...
Well, like Harley doesn't even brand those as cruisers. Harley has a cruiser link on their website, and it does not include baggers.
Really? Okay.
Baggers are under Grand American Touring. But before they brought in, I don't know why they brought in the Grand American. Before that, they just had it listed as Touring.
Well, I feel like a lot of that and the nomenclature that gets tied to it is a lot of marketing.
Well, if you go on really any manufacturer's page, even Japanese manufacturers, and look at their new motorcycles, a lot of them have cruiser listed.
Yeah.
And it's bags that don't come from the factory with saddlebags. If they do, they're like leather style bags.
I do actually have to say, though, Honda, when they advertised the Valkyrie, it was advertised as a cruiser, not under the Goldwing line.
Yes and no.
I understand. No, I
well, no, I'm saying yes and no because I've seen the advertising. Literally the advertising from the late 90s. Because when I was at the Honda shop, we had old ads in the back for the Valkyrie in the late 90s.
Do you happen to know anybody else over there where I could get a few of those old
That
ads?
thing is probably all trash considering they just moved.
I know.
But it was advertised the same way as the Honda Rune.
Yeah. Which was a specialty motorcycle.
It was a specialty motorcycle. It was that whole, hey, you want the gold wing, but you don't need a gold wing.
Yeah. You want something with more power than a gold wing and looks better than a gold wing. You get this.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get it. It makes sense.
But once again, the Rune is different than the Interceptor.
Rune's different than everything.
Well, Rune did not have saddlebags from the factory.
No, it didn't. No, you're right, it didn't.
It was completely stripped out.
Well, the Rune had the suspension was completely different. The suspension was more like the newer Gold Wings.
Imagine if they made a Rune out of the new Gold Wing with that crazy front end suspension and everything.
The cantilever deal that they have. Well, I think, though, the Rune had a weird front end suspension, I thought.
It looked weird. It was not necessarily
it wasn't the same as what they have on the new Gold Wings, but I think it was like a predecessor to what they have.
Not quite.
Because
it just looked...
It wasn't traditional front forks.
No, it looks like what they call a girder front end, but it did not actually have a girder front end on there.
Because it wasn't traditional front forks.
It actually is.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's just a look.
Okay.
It's how they did it.
I've seen one up close in person.
Yeah, it's well, when you say traditional, it's not, we'd have to get into, it's a long, drawn out thing. Does that make sense?
Because it did have a separate set of suspension on the front end.
It's not a crazy front end. It is a common front end.
Not like the new Gold Wings.
Okay. Which the new Gold Wings, technically, that front end is not necessarily that crazy considering BMW ran it in the mid 2000s.
That is true.
And other brands have ran that style suspension even before that.
Yeah.
We'll go down that road
on
outside the podcast because it's going to be a rabbit hole that we just.
See,
it's not going to be entertaining.
What you guys don't see is when we're not recording the podcast, we sit here and we talk about all the little minute details in motorcycling that we have known for years, and we see it and we talk about it and we just see like, oh yeah, you know what? I didn't think about that.
Well, so me and Charlie at work did that the other day for about 30 minutes. We were just going back and forth with trivia questions for Harley Davidson. So, but yeah.
So I've purchased a new motorcycle, and I've said this before, and so the V-Star 650 was a proof of concept for Stephanie, just to see if she would like that. Can I say cruiser? Are you okay with me saying cruiser for the V-Star?
Absolutely. That is a cruiser.
Okay.
That is in the cruiser segment.
The cruiser style branding of a motorcycle. The V-Star 650 is, if you've never ridden one, it is a great motorcycle. I've ridden it. I'm 200 pounds. I'm 6'3". It was a good motorcycle. Now, it did not have enough power. You were looking at 35, 38 horsepower and 40 foot-pounds of torque at max when it was brand new in 2004.
So, I didn't hear anything you just said. I'm still trying to get past the fact that you asked me if you could call the V-Star a cruiser.
Well, you've been trying to contradict me so far.
No, the V-Star is a cruiser. That is absolutely
I'm just
a cruiser.
making sure. I want to use the correct term from the resident cruiser bro.
But I don't own a cruiser. Currently.
See? This is what I'm talking about, people.
Currently.
What?
I don't currently own a cruiser.
Yeah, but you work in a place that does have a lot of cruisers.
Well, my Harley previous to this was a cruiser.
Okay, so there you go. You are better knowledged than I am on cruisers.
I've only ever owned one cruiser motorcycle. You've owned two.
Apparently.
So.
But yeah, so the V-Star 650, like I said, it is honestly a good motorcycle. If you are looking into getting to ride, it is a low seat height. It is not enough power that you're going to get yourself into trouble,
Right.
but it's enough. I sat on the interstate doing 90 miles an hour. Now, I knew I was doing 90 miles an hour. It felt like it. But it was just fine. It was comfortable. It had floorboards. It was easy to shift, easy to maneuver. I could go in and out of traffic if I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great motorcycle. But as you've probably gleaned from previous conversations on this podcast, we've all been riding motorcycles for a while. And we typically ride a little bit faster in certain situations. And the 650 was not going to keep up.
I don't ride fast.
No one here rides fast.
No one here rides fast.
I said faster.
Never.
I don't know. I didn't tell you what the baseline was. We're all doing 45, folks.
In a 50.
In a 50.
While everybody else is going 20.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's fine.
Yeah. And go in the wrong direction.
Yes.
But
I wish I'd stay out of my lane.
but the V-Star 1300, like I said, I mean, we're talking about multiple hours at this point. We have not owned it very long. I rode it back from Cleveland, Tennessee, which is about 20 miles north of where we live currently.
Did you stop and see your brother?
No.
Oh, Ginger.
Oh, yes,
You're now getting attacked by Ginger.
Oh,
That is adorable.
man. So no, I did not stop and see my brother because, fortunately enough, he does not have to work on weekends, or at least he's on call on the weekends, from what I understand. And we will eventually have him back on the podcast because I feel like that was popular because he's an entertaining individual and he's always wrong.
He's always wrong. He has to correct himself.
So
I feel like we need to go down this road on the cruiser. What are you?
I like your socks.
What about my socks?
Oh, those are Dixon socks.
They're
No,
nice.
Dixon's.
All right, so
I feel like we need to go down this road, the cruiser road.
we can do
I
that.
think I need to. Well, no, I think I just need to clarify something.
Okay.
A cruiser is a bike that is designed to do just that. Cruise. Now, when I say it's designed to do just that, I literally mean more or less it's designed to do just that. Okay?
So
Can you take a cruiser on a long ride? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay? Can you take it like, do people ride cruisers all the way down to Florida like we're going to in a couple months?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is it necessarily designed to do that? Or do you have to do modifications to make it better suited to do that?
I think something that you might need to clarify is what, in your opinion, is the difference between a cruiser and a cruiser touring bike?
Well, I don't
think
think there's a such thing as.
bike.
Yeah, I don't. I was going to say, number one, I don't think there's a such thing as a cruiser touring bike.
What
I think
if
there
said
are
a cruiser styled touring?
a cruiser. You can have a cruiser that is more suited, better suited, I should say, for touring. Okay, that doesn't mean it's still a. That doesn't mean it is a touring bike.
So, are you saying like the addition of saddlebags would that make something not a cruiser anymore?
No, that makes it better suited to tour on, but it does not. It still does not make it a touring motorcycle.
Okay, because I mean, like I have the big Givy bag on the back.
Dude, we're talking about everything between suspension, frame architecture, bikes that are designed
seating
to
position,
bikes that the way the bike is designed is better suited to handle weight. Okay,
yeah.
you see what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
like,
okay, I mean, I get that.
you take a Harley Heritage. Okay, it like your Honda, it comes from the factory with saddlebags and a windshield, and it's got a great seating position. And a lot of people are going to hear this and go, well, that's kind of a touring bike, but it's still also a cruiser. You're not going to put two full-grown adults and a week to 2 weeks worth of luggage and be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
True.
That's true.
I don't mean you can't.
But
I just mean you're not going to do that and be comfortable.
That's not what it's initially designed for.
Okay?
Right.
Also, cruisers don't typically have as big of gas tanks as touring motorcycles.
That is true. That is true.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
although you
get
see
it.
my bike and people like with my bike that all they do is ride it around town or put it on a trailer, take it down to bike week, those types of things.
Yeah.
That's not what the bike is actually designed for.
I mean, I agree with you, and we both ride motorcycles. We're in that field where we understand things. But I will say, like, to a majority of the people, when you look, a majority of the people that look at motorcycles, there's like 2 to maybe 3 classes. They have a cruiser, a sport bike, and then a dirt bike. That's kind of the 3 that most people see.
Well, then the people that see those 3 need to reevaluate what they're thinking, because that's like telling me the only 3 types of vehicles you have, and those same types of people I will describe here in a second are the people that say there is a such thing as a truck, a sedan, and a sports car.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what it is.
But those same people are the same ones that buy a Suburban and reference it as a truck, and you go, no, it's not. It's not a truck. That's an SUV.
It's an SUV.
But I feel like the differences in motorcycles are a lot smaller.
I don't think they are.
Nah,
I mean, realistically, when you put it down, okay, you can have some in between stuff like sport touring or sport cruisers or muscle bikes or muscle cruisers, those types of things. But your variance between those things are still like key point categories.
It depends on the person too, because hear me out here.
Okay, I'm listening.
Cruiser, your deluxe was a cruiser to me.
Absolutely.
Yes. Our Street Glide is a bagger. It's a touring. It's a bagger.
Correct.
I call tourings baggers.
I could agree with that statement
To a certain extent.
Well, no, the reason I'm saying that is I can't tell you a bike that's advertised as a touring motorcycle that does not have saddlebags, at least.
At least. Does that make sense? Most tourings do have
like when
the tour pack on the back.
Right. When you get into stuff like the Heritage,
yeah,
I think your saddlebag in your windshield is more designed for convenience.
It's convenience.
Yeah. Okay. Whereas mine are designed specifically for the motorcycle. They're color matched. It's keyed to go with the rest of the keys on the motorcycle, all those types of things.
Yeah.
You can have a gray area. Yeah. There is a such thing as a gray area.
Well, I feel like I would just say that in motorcycling, there's more of a gray area than there is in automobiles.
So the gray area, though, the only people that put stuff in that gray area
are people that don't know.
Are people like us. People that actually know
stuff.
Motorcycle people.
Yeah.
Okay? Because we're the ones that could go, hey, this bike falls into a gray area. Because it's like, what denotes something as a sport tourer?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? The gray area stuff is a little bit harder to define. And that's why I say the only people that you're going to see putting stuff into that gray area are really motorcycle people.
Yeah, and that's when you get into those, when you start diversifying the categories. You know, I would, like I said, the majority of people are going to be like, this is a cruiser, this is a sport bike, this is a dirt bike, or an off-road motorcycle. And
but I think the term touring, when it comes to motorcycles, has become more widely known.
I agree.
It has,
to where it's not a questionable thing anymore. A lot of people will start using the term touring motorcycle.
Yeah. Well, and touring motorcycles, you know, a lot of people that are going to look at them, they're going to be like, a Goldwing is a touring motorcycle.
Touring, yeah.
You look at the, sorry, I've got dog fur in my mouth. like an Electra Glide. It has the big front fairing. It has the big tour pack on the back. That is a touring motorcycle. Like what you see when people say they're going to go across country.
Yeah.
Touring motorcycle. Sport touring motorcycle, I think of like the Kawasaki Concourse, the BMW K16. I think of things that are along that line.
Right.
But once again, it's people that know or have thought about it or have ridden these bikes.
Right.
They know the differences.
The difference between the...
Like, my ZRX has the same engine that the Concourse had in the 90s.
Right.
Do I consider my ZRX a sport touring motorcycle? No.
No.
I wouldn't.
No,
Personally.
but to use that reference, okay, same engine, but let me ask you this. Is it the same frame design?
Actually, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
so then you
on
could,
that bike.
but you're also talking about
I mean, now the frame...
the
frame
ZRX
the
is
same.
a special class of motorcycle too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit different.
Because it's more of a heritage bred.
Yeah, it's like
Motorcycle.
it's a heritage bred off of the old race
Right.
motorcycle. Yeah.
But like, there's people that are taking street glides and electric glides and stuff like that, and they're stripping them down.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I say stripping them down, no saddlebags
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
Right.
And people then go, "Well, that's a cruiser." People that are in that world don't call it a cruiser; they call it a stripped down bagger.
Yeah.
So,
Right,
or
yeah.
a stripped down touring bike. And that's the same thing that, like, they referenced with your Honda.
Yeah.
It was a stripped down touring bike.
Exactly.
Okay? Because,
I've
said
I've also
earlier,
had it referred to as a muscle cruiser.
I wouldn't call it a muscle
I wouldn't
cruiser.
either, but
Nah.
I've heard a lot of people.
I think,
Some
but
people
I think
do,
that's
but
people that
nah.
don't
No.
truly know the definition of what a muscle cruiser is.
Yeah.
And we can go down that. But like your bike, it is designed. Everything about your bike, even with it being stripped down, is still designed
To go touring.
to go touring on.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
My bike is realistically no different than a big ultra classic.
Yeah.
I don't have a tour
yeah.
pack. I don't have a tall windshield. But they start with the exact
But
same
everything else is the
platform.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. A heritage, okay, in a softail form is realistically the closest thing you can get to a touring bike. But it's actually, when you look at then Fat Boy, you don't go, oh, it's a stripped down heritage. Well, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Okay. Because they are the same motorcycle. Exact same motorcycle. And when 90% of the fleet does not come with a windshield or saddlebags, that means this bike is actually added with windshield and saddlebags.
Now, just as my
And if you want to pull other brands in this conversation, I can run that.
No.
Run that.
No, I
Because like Honda made the Interstate.
yeah.
The 1300 Interstate. Okay. That was not a touring bike.
No.
Okay. That was still a cruiser.
Correct.
Okay. It just had a little bit better capabilities to tour on.
Yeah.
Okay. But it was no different than the Sabre. It was literally a Sabre with saddlebags and a windshield.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. They also made the Interstate model of the Valkyrie. So the Valkyrie came in 3 different models. You had the Standard, the Touring, and the Interstate.
Yeah.
Standard had no saddlebags, no front windshield. It was what you would typically define as a cruiser style. I'm going to say style.
Yeah.
Once again, cruiser style, stripped down, engine, gas tank, one single seat.
Yeah.
Then you had the Touring, which is what I have, which has big windshield, saddlebags, passenger seat, passenger backrest. And then the Interstate model had a full front fairing with gauges in the fairing. Like, it was integrated into the bike.
Here's the other thing, too, that I want to point
Bigger
out.
gas tank.
Here's the other thing,
Right.
too, that I want to point out. And this isn't me just trying to be, hey, Harley is king.
But you're going to do that anyway.
When it comes to the cruiser thing, Harley is king.
Oh, no.
Whether how much you
absolutely.
want to admit it, every Japanese
It's
cruiser
based on a Harley.
is designed off that whole concept that Harley created 80 years ago.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, we talked about this when I bought the V-Star, the 650.
What Harley-
It looks like a heritage
What
classic.
Japanese have done to define a motorcycle industry is with the sport bikes. Okay. Now, what you're referencing, like especially with your bike, is they're trying to define what certain things mean.
Yeah.
When it comes to motorcycling, the problem is they're trying to define something that was defined 50 years before they ever built it.
They're trying to define something for the Japanese motorcycle consumer, not the American consumer. Because the only person that was going to get a Valkyrie Interstate was the guy that was like, well, I want something different than the Goldwing.
But the thing is when you talk about they're trying to design it for the Japanese consumer, they're not using those bikes. The bikes that they're buying in Japan, the Japanese motorcycles they're buying in Japan, they are either buying the full-blown sport bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they're buying their small CC scooters and stuff like that.
Well, and when I said Japanese consumer, I meant like the person in the United States that buys Japanese motorcycles.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I said that.
I was going to say, you know the other motorcycle that's extremely popular in Japan, right?
Yeah, the little like 500cc Harley.
Just Harley Davidson in general.
Oh, true.
If you go on Instagram and start looking at a lot of these, go on Instagram, search #performance bagger. Dude, you'll see all over Malaysia, China, the Philippines, Japan. Awesome freaking baggers, dude.
I want to see a bunch of.
I'm talking about like
Suzuki Harleys,
dude. I'm talking.
Giant.
I'm talking about like M8. I'm talking about like these guys, because for them, when it comes to that, what they refer to as Western culture, they live, sleep, eat, breathe that Western culture. So they fully bring themselves into that. Mm-hmm. That's just like, everybody here when GM started doing away with car brands and they kept Buick, and everybody went, why'd they keep Buick? Because it's one of the biggest selling car brands in China.
Yeah.
Because if you couldn't afford a Cadillac, you bought a Buick. That was how it always was. And
Speaking of that, okay.
This is a motorcycle podcast.
You going on a tangent?
We've done this every
No. It's a car thing real quick. I meant to tell you this. So this is just, it was, the irony was not lost on me when I saw this. Okay. I saw one of the Honda Genesis, like, what is
Hyundai.
it? The Hyundai Genesis.
It's a Honda.
Like
It's Honda.
What do they call it? The G30? Like the $100,000 Hyundai sedan.
Oh, yeah. They're like BMW 7 Series, Mercedes,
Yes.
S-Class competitor.
Okay.
Yeah.
When was the last time you seen one of those driving down the road?
I've seen one in Chattanooga.
So
He's downtown a lot.
I saw one in Chattanooga on Gabriel Road the other day. Friday night.
Was it a dark? It's a dark color.
It's a dark color.
It's like black or midnight
black.
Yeah.
So look over and I see it. It's probably the same car. I look over and I see it, and I go, Heather, look, and I'm admiring the car.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I make eye contact with the driver.
16-year-old girl.
No.
Asian grandma.
Yeah.
I was like, immediately, I went, the irony, because the car was not built for the American consumer.
No.
The car was built as the top line luxury car in Asian market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It made it to the States because Hyundais are popular in the States.
Yeah.
But it was built for high level executives in the Asian market, whether it was in Japan or China or Korea or wherever.
Well,
okay.
And you know what? Like I
to see that and see who was driving it, because typically when you do see that, they are Buicks, Cadillacs, those types of things. So the irony to see her driving that car, I think she knew it too. Like when I made eye contact, and I just kind of smiled a little bit.
It didn't faze me any.
Go ahead.
He goes, you know what that is? I'm like, no, I don't.
That's a Hyundai.
I'm like, I ain't paying that much for a Hyundai.
That's the one. That car, they don't have a conventional owner's manual. It has an iPad that slides into the glove box.
Yeah.
Like it slides into a charger port. And when you need to look at the owner's manual and you open the glove box, you pull it out, it comes out of the charger port, and that's where your owner's manual is.
No, I mean...
I'll stick with my Jeep. It's fine.
Because they really are, like, in all honesty, a competitor to that BMW 7 Series, Mercedes S-Class, Audi A8.
But just like a 745 pre-owned, you can buy those things for bottom of the barrel cheap.
But that's what I'm saying. So, like, if you go to the Asian market, the tariffs that they put on these German automakers and like these big American cars, which is why they're so popular, because they're hard to get. And they're expensive when they're brand new because of all the tariffs. Well, you can buy you can buy a Hyundai or a Toyota. Like Toyota still makes the Century in Asian markets.
I'm trying to think of the Century.
That's their big like.
Like, it was above the Avalon.
It was above the Avalon. Like it was there. Like if
like
you're if you're a dictator and you've killed at least 1 million people in your ownership.
Yeah,
you get to be
that
able
was
to
that was
buy.
the one you sit in the back and you have someone driving.
What it was when that's the Century that you know.
Yeah.
If you go back to the 80s, they took the Centuries and actually made limousines out of them.
They come from the factory with the little spots where you can put flags in the front.
I know the car now.
That's
because if you can find a Century now, typically if you find a Century in the States,
too.
Well, typically if you find one in the States, it's going to be like a late 80s, early 90s model, and it's going to be on the same plane as like a Mercedes, the Mercedes like 320s or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's like if you go find an old like a 1985 Mercedes 320D.
Yep.
That is exactly like what a 1985 Toyota Century is.
Yeah.
But that was high class.
Yeah,
that was high class.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, you go inside. I mean, there was like real cow that they made the leather out of. Like it actually had a name on it and everything. But all right, we need to bring this back to motorcycles because we've gone.
Bring it back to motorcycles.
We have gone on
but we're discussing the fact. Realistically, though, what we're discussing the fact of on that is
Asian versus American market.
Just know what the Japanese motorcycle market where they're almost trying to redefine.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't set out to go down the rabbit hole of what is a cruiser and what is not a cruiser.
Yeah, because I can promise you that was not what we discussed before we started this podcast.
It was not. We have not hardly discussed anything that we pre-discussed.
But I think you're right, though. And I feel like this is something that the Japanese motorcycle manufacturers have always done. It's, like you said, Harley will do something, or they have a certain style motorcycle, and then the Japanese manufacturers will take 2 or 3 steps in their mind ahead. They'll go 10 years ahead what Harley is actually going to do. Not saying that they are 10 years better, but they are...
Well, it was like, okay, earlier, our conversation about Harley copying a Kawasaki motor design, okay? Did Harley copy a Kawasaki motor design, or was that just the next step evolution of what was going on with Harley Davidson anyways?
And
it's just before Harley took that next step, Kawasaki took it
just went ahead
and did it.
Well, and I think their ability to do so is because they don't have that heritage in their lines.
Well,
it's not like they
it's fairly easy when you don't have to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars for R&D because you take something and tweak it.
Right. I mean,
I'm not.
I'm not saying they.
I don't know.
I'm not saying they stole that. Okay, but it's just like Kawasaki. Kawasaki used to make a motorcycle called a drifter. They don't make a drifter anymore.
I remember
because
that.
the Indians sued the shit out of them.
Right, because they. At that point in time, it was a blatant copy of an Indian motorcycle.
Okay, what would you rather have, an Indian Chief or Kawasaki Drifter?
But
No. I'm asking you personally.
We're talking about the vintage of the Drifter?
Yes.
Or we're talking about new?
No, the vintage of the Drifter.
The Indian.
Really? Oh.
Yep.
The Drifter. What? Is that what we test drove?
You haven't.
The Kawasaki Drifter.
You haven't been on the back of a Drifter.
I'm trying to think. What was the first?
That was
like,
mid
chopper
2000s.
No. You're thinking of something different. The Drifter is not a chopper style.
The Drifter is a full dresser style.
But what she's talking about, we rode in, what was that?
That's like Panama.
2010.
Yeah.
We test drove Yamaha Raider.
That's what it was.
Okay. Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah. So that was a 1700cc Yamaha chain drive.
Yeah.
And then a couple years later, they came out with a Striker that was 1,300 cc's, liquid cooled because the Raider was air cooled.
Yep.
And I think the Striker shaft drive, if I'm not mistaken.
Striker is belt drive.
Is it belt drive?
It's the same engine that's in that V-Star.
Okay.
It's the same engine and chassis.
But the Raider was a chain. Or the Raider we rode was a chain.
So the Raider, if I recall correctly, was a stripped down version of the Stratoliner Roadstar.
Dude, I'm going to tell you what. That Raider was a good riding motorcycle. Like comfortable.
Yeah.
Like going down the road, comfortable.
Yeah. Like actually, I know we're kind of shitting on them a little bit. I think the Japanese cruiser touring motorcycle in that class, I think they make good motorcycles. I don't think they make bad motorcycles. Yeah.
I think that if you think that I'm thinking they make bad motorcycles, you're going down the wrong route. What I'm saying is their concept and design and execution is a copy, essentially.
Well, you realize where they sell a majority of those type of motorcycles is here in the United States.
Right.
Like a bulk of those styles are sold here.
But
they don't sell that.
Well, what they did was
they
didn't have to come up with an original design.
No.
Okay.
You are correct.
They didn't have to come up with an original design. And then when they did that, they were then able to make tweaks. So that's where the whole trying to redo the image concept of what people perceive as to be certain things.
Yeah.
Because they went, well, we can make a touring bike out of this bike, but they're copying a Softail.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's still not a touring motorcycle when it comes down to the brass tacks of it.
I agree with that. Well, I mean, the typical Japanese thing is what you see when you hear of a Japanese motorcycle, you think of reliability. Mm-hmm. Because for a long time, Harley did not have that reputation of reliability. And I think that's something you can actually agree with. During the AMF era of Harley, they ruined any shred of reliability that they'd ever have. And you still hear people talk about it today.
That's why that is why they bought it back.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That group of investors was like, no, we don't want to see you do to Harley what you're doing. We don't want to see that anymore. And that's where the Japanese market just bolstered their numbers when saying, like, look, Harleys are unreliable. They leak oil.
I think if it hadn't have been that time period, if that hadn't happened, you wouldn't have as much
competition.
Well, hatred.
Yeah, no, I agree with.
Yeah.
But like, it's just that whole, about anybody that wants to disagree and go, well, they don't copy. Well, you were informed of something last week with the Sportster conversation.
Yeah. So
I don't think that was on the podcast, was it? Was that before or after?
No, that was on the podcast. Talking about when the Sportster was first made. That was on the podcast for last week.
Well, the discussion was the Sportster. You said the Sportster was the answer to the Japanese motorcycles.
Yes. And that's what I had always remembered. But I wasn't around then.
The Sportster came out before.
Yeah.
So, but even then, it was badged to Sportster in 57.
Yes.
Before 57, they were still essentially building the same motorcycle, but it was called a K model.
Yeah.
So, that's the thing about it. It was the Japanese were building a bike in response to that.
But I will say where the Japanese...
And then, of course, Harley built the Fat Boy.
Yeah.
We won't go down that road.
No. But I will say where the Japanese built a motorcycle and completely blew the competition out of the water was the UJM, the Japanese Universal Japanese Motorcycle. The what we refer to today as a sport bike, that's where the Japanese truly made their bread and butter. The CB750 in 1968, 1969, that was the true first entry into the American market where the Japanese...
Well, I feel like
they won. I mean, there was nothing that could compete with the.
I feel like Japanese bikes, by brand, can be a little bit harder to define.
What do you mean? Clarify that for everybody and me because I don't understand you.
Okay, CBR 1000 double. GSX-R 1000.
Okay.
Kawasaki ZX-10R.
Those are all
Yamaha R1.
Those are all sport bikes, like super sports.
Right. Dimensions are pretty much all the same. They're all the same size engine. They're all round about the same weight. You see what I'm saying? They are different.
Yeah.
But to me, those are just as different as me saying, these are Nabisco chocolate chip cookies. These are Pillsbury chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah.
These are Walmart brand chocolate chip cookies.
They're all still chocolate chip cookies, just from a different manufacturer.
Correct.
I get that.
Right.
Correct.
I get that.
That's what I mean. Where when you get into the same thing with the cruiser market.
Yeah.
Okay. Realistically, when you look at it and you go, well, this is a Honda Sabre. This is a V-Star. This is a Vulcan. I'm sure. What's Suzuki's?
The V90 or the V50.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's what
C90,
yeah.
C50.
C90,
So
C50.
the C50s and C90s, Boulevard. That's what it is.
But yeah.
Okay. When you set all of those together, for the most part, it's that same thing.
Yeah.
They're all chocolate chip cookies by a different manufacturer.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you set a Fat Boy or a Deluxe or something out there next to it, you go, this is not a chocolate chip.
Yeah.
You're then taking, or even if you did want to go, well, this is still a chocolate chip cookie. You're correct. But that's an Otis Spunkmeyer.
Yeah. So that I would agree with that in saying that the Japanese motorcycle brands generally compete more with themselves than they do with Harley.
100%.
Like,
that's why I think Honda
true, yeah.
is doing a lot of the stuff that they're doing now, because they're going, why are we sitting here competing against each other to compete against Harley Davidson and Indian when we can just do something completely different on our own?
And it's better for what they want.
Yeah, but because, okay, you hear people talk about, oh, Harley this, Harley this. You hear people talk about the Goldwing. Okay? Do you hear people sitting here raving, going, have you seen the new Kawasaki Volquero?
Yeah, no. The Goldwing is one. Like, I mean, let's just admit that now. The Goldwing is the...
Do you get what I'm saying? Because they decided to step out and go, we're not going to run in this fight because...
Yeah. Well, that's why they got rid of the Shadow line and the VTX. Because they're like, look, it's not worth our money. We still make the Fury, and that one CEO is happy.
Yeah, 5 or 4. There's 4 of them. We saw 4.
Yeah, we did see 4. All 4 down in Panama.
So...
all 4 of the Fury owners were in Panama.
Furries.
God, I forgot about that.
So all 4...
I've been trying to put that on my mind.
American Honda executives that tend to ride the Furies were in Panama for vacation together.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why Honda gave up doing the VTX, doing the Shadow. Now, they have come out with the...
Well, they said, what's the point in spending the money to compete when we can build something different that will sell?
Yeah, which is why they came out with the Rebel 1100.
Well, that is why also you no longer hear people comparing Honda and Harley.
That is true.
They have almost become, to me, in my opinion, they've almost become on an equal playing field. And that's also why Harley's American, Honda's Japanese. But that's also why what I'm saying is, if I was to say, name the biggest Japanese brands in America, you would name the 4 big ones.
Yeah.
But then if I said, who's the biggest?
Honda.
Why are they the biggest?
Because they make generators as well.
Because they said, we're not going to fight.
Yeah.
We're going to do our own thing.
Yeah.
We're tired of fighting. Because they fought.
Oh, no, they did.
Years.
Well, look, I mean, you look at the old Shadows.
I mean, like 30, 40 years.
Well, they did. They tried to do that. But
they were also, keep in mind, the first. They were the first big Japanese manufacturer in the United States.
That is true. That is true. Because they started...
we had the Cubs here in, what, the 60s?
Yeah,
50s?
late 50s, early 60s.
For all we know, there might have been some other form of Japanese Honda.
What's the advertisement over there on the side there?
We might have had...
Does it have a year on it?
We might have had some other type of... I'm sure there's stuff before the Cubs.
It's one of the original, you meet the nicest people on a Honda. There should be a year on it. I think that's like 63 or 62. And it's a little Honda Cub.
65.
65. So I mean, that's one of the.
What 60s model of Kawasaki's were there?
There weren't in the United States.
What 60s model Yamahas were there?
There were not in the United States, and
There might have been, just not stuff we don't know.
Yeah,
it wasn't like the Cub.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. And I think Honda, at some point in time in the '90s, I believe it was, is when Honda, because that's when they started, or late '80s, they started coming out with stuff that was different.
Yeah, well, because I think the majority of the Japanese motorcycle manufacturers came in the late '60s, early '70s.
Well, but the thing about it is too is honestly, okay, Kawasaki. Okay, do you think Kawasaki's money comes from their motorcycles?
Oh, absolutely not.
Don't they have their hands in heavy equipment?
They do have their hands in heavy equipment.
Okay, do you think Yamaha's money comes from motorcycles?
They also make pianos.
Yamaha makes more than just pianos,
and
but they make
air
a lot.
Conditioning units,
they make a lot of it. They make a lot of musical instruments.
Yeah.
Period. Okay.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about a subsidiary company. We're talking about the same company.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And poor Suzuki, they're just trying to stay afloat right now. Poor Suzuki's
How many
floaties.
GSXRs can I sell this year? That's the same thing that I've sold for the past 20.
Poor Suzuki's floaties went flat a couple years ago, and they're just kicking as hard as they can.
Wait, you mean I can't sell a new GSXR 750 with the new graphics on it?
Hang on. I like the GSXR. Okay?
I love the GSXR.
But like, how many people go out and buy a Honda four-wheeler?
All of them?
How many people go out and buy a Kawasaki four-wheeler? A lot of people buy the Kawasaki Brute Force.
The other half?
Really?
Okay. And then the Kawasaki Racing four-wheeler too.
Yeah.
Suzuki, the only time you hear about somebody really going out and buying a Suzuki four-wheeler, which is the King Quad, they're rushing out not to buy the King Quad, they're rushing out to buy Suzuki's racing four-wheeler, their 450 racing four-wheeler.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you what Yamaha's four-wheelers are.
Do they make four-wheelers?
I would say they do.
I don't know.
Why would they not? I mean, they make a Rhino.
That is true.
They make a Yamaha had a Banshee, but once again, that was a racing quad.
Yeah, which is
and then they made the Raptor, which was a racing quad.
Yeah.
So Honda established a dominance. Realistically, Honda's dominance was not established in the 60s. They were established in the 80s.
Yeah.
With everything but their motorcycles.
True. Well, I mean,
Honda used their off-road and their cars to establish a dominance in the United States that helped them be the
premier Japanese manufacturer.
Correct. That's a great way to say that. I'm trying to think of the best way to say that.
Because that is the truth. Honda is... If you're thinking of Japanese manufacturers, regardless of type of vehicle or anything, you think of Honda. Honda is number one out of the Japanese manufacturers. Yeah. And all I have to say, I think Honda makes a fantastic product. I think they make good motorcycles. They make great cars. They make great generators.
I tried to kill a Honda and it would not work.
Honda
I tried to kill it.
Makes fantastic vehicles all around.
Yeah.
Unfortunately...
If only Toyota could make a motorcycle.
I was going to say, unfortunately, I think they're behind Toyota when it comes to their cars. Not far, because years there was a battle between the Honda Accord and the Toyota Camry.
The Camry's better.
But the Camry, for like the past 11 years, the Camry has been the number one selling car.
There was something that I saw recently, and it was talking about like the best-selling car from like 1998 to 2010 was the Toyota Camry. Every single
we were showing that.
We read something the other day, and it was like the years, and it was like, okay, from 98 to 2006, the Toyota Camry. It's like, oh, what is it different after Toyota Camry for 2006? It's the Toyota Camry again. It's just in 2006 they had a body change. Yeah. So, like it broke it down like that. Like it didn't sit here and go 98 to 2021. No, it was like 98 to 06. 07 to 9. And it was like, what? But it kept saying Toyota Camry.
Camry.
That was funny.
Yeah.
What? But the thing about it is I can't tell you anybody right now that has a new Toyota Camry. I don't know anybody that has a new Toyota Camry.
Well, because they're also like $40,000 now if you want to buy the nicer one.
I know people that have brand new Accords.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know someone that works for Honda.
Yeah.
Of course, he loves his Ridgeline.
Yeah. Oh God.
He does love his Ridgeline.
Yeah.
I'm just not even going to touch
Honda makes fantastic off-road vehicles. Their cars are not in that category. Unless, which I don't think Honda made it, but unless you wanted to go out and find you an old Passport.
Oh! I would love to have an old Passport.
Wasn't that an Isuzu?
Mm-hmm.
They might have made it.
I thought
you want to talk about a brand? What happened to them?
Isuzu Rodeo?
Isuzu has kicked the bucket, just like Suzuki's car manufacturers.
Yep. Well, that's the thing. Suzuki.
I like my Jeep.
I don't know what else they have their hands in. If they have their hands in other stuff, it's not here in the States.
Yeah. No, I don't think they do, because Suzuki is a dealership as far as auto manufacturers. They mid-2000s, they kind of...
Now,
like
Toyota actually does have their hands in something else that's not cars.
Don't they also do, like big cargo ships as well?
I don't know about that, but they do equipment.
Yeah, I know they do, like, construction equipment.
Well, no, they make, like, forklifts and all that other stuff.
Mm.
Like, a lot of forklifts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like my Jeep. I like my Jeep.
Yeah, they don't make any motorcycles. So.
It's fine. I don't care. I like my Jeep.
Would you buy a Jeep motorcycle?
I have a Harley.
If a Jeep came out with something like a Pan America...
I feel like you can't say that because the engine in your Jeep is Korean.
Italian.
The Tiger Shark? I thought that was Korean.
It's owned by somebody. But that engine was originally developed by Fiat.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Fiat developed the engine for a mass market.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
The engine first showed up in Fiats. So the engine was developed by Fiat.
Yeah.
And then sold to this other company that wanted the engine. And Fiat said, that's fine. You sell us the engines at a cheaper rate.
Yeah.
We'll keep using them.
Which makes sense.
Right. So then you find that motor in Hyundais and Kias. And,
yeah.
Apparently that engine is in some of the pup trucks that you can find over in Korea.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to find a pup truck, dude.
There was one for sale on Marketplace not too long ago.
I want one in 4-wheel-drive, though.
Yeah, you know how fun that would be?
Yeah, buddy.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if Heather knows what we're talking about.
I would take that to bike night.
You know what a pup truck is? I don't mean like they made a truck called a pup. I don't mean the pup. They're like, think compact.
Yeah.
Then make it smaller.
And then make it smaller.
Okay.
I'll show you a picture.
That sounds interesting
So,
to me.
Technically in the States, I'm not sure if they're road legal.
Some were, and then some weren't. They keep changing the laws on what is defined as
Well,
road
technically,
legal.
if it's over 25 years old,
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
So.
Antique tags.
Antique tags.
So.
But I think it's an interesting conversation talking about the type of motorcycles that Japanese manufacturers typically lean towards, and then American motorcycle manufacturers. Because, in all honesty, we have one American motorcycle manufacturer, and that's Harley Davidson. Because Indian is not American anymore.
Technically it is.
Is it?
On technicality purposes, yes.
Yeah. Because
I thought Indian was also owned by the same company that owned Victory.
It is. Polaris Industries.
Polaris
Industries.
So
that's the thing. Okay.
Polaris isn't...
Technically, they're in Kentucky.
Technically.
So, I don't want to be right. Or let me phrase that. I don't want to be wrong.
You want to be right, it's not wrong.
At one point in time, whether they started there or they were just there.
Yeah.
And it could have just been a situation where they were American company the whole time, but maybe all their manufacturing or something came out of Canada.
So it's not an American company.
I don't know.
But then again, Ford manufactures a lot of their stuff in Mexico.
Do you get what I'm saying?
True.
There?
Yeah, no,
I don't know if
yeah.
Polaris started in Canada
Yeah.
or not, because I've said this to people before. They'll be like, no. I'm very distinctively, and this could be a Mandela effect thing. Remember some sort of tie-in between Polaris and Bombardier. And that could be a Mandela, like I said, could be a Mandela effect thing.
It might be
Yeah.
a Mandela effect, yeah. But I don't know.
I felt like what
I'm
it
not
was
sure.
was when I was a kid, wherever you could find Polaris stuff,
Yeah.
you found Bombardier water equipment.
Yeah. I'm trying, you know what?
And Bombardier is Canadian, but it's French.
Yeah. You know something we don't talk about? I don't think the French make a motorcycle.
I bet they do.
Going for the cell phone to do a Google search because I can't think of one off the top of my head.
I bet they do. I bet we don't have it, though.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's hundreds of French car manufacturers.
That is true. Peugeot actually makes a motorcycle. MBK, Moto Bécane, Vauxhall, René Gillet.
So what is Moto Guzzi?
It's Italian.
Is it Italian?
Yeah, Moto Guzzi
Yeah.
is Italian.
That's Italian.
Barigio motorcycles, Godier and Jeannaud and Scorpia. Those are all the French motorcycle companies, and looks like majority of them make scooters.
Scooters.
So then we very possibly do have French in the States. We don't have a huge scooter market here, but you go somewhere that has
No.
a huge scooter market,
Yeah,
there's a good chance you can find.
which is not the United States. We don't have.
It's, yeah.
No, I beg to differ. There's places where there's large scooter markets. We actually used to have a scooter store in Hickson.
What?
That had carried 11 or 12 different brands of scooters. When I was in high school, there was a scooter store in Hickson that actually sold Aprilia scooters.
Really?
Well, Aprilia is Italian.
Right.
Right, but
Yeah, Aprilia actually makes really good scooters.
Well, when I was in high school, I was looking at, I can't remember, I think it was a 150, but it was a 152 stroke scooter.
Yeah.
But it was like $6,000.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's comparative to the new Aprilia motorcycles, which are significantly
yeah.
more expensive.
At
Yeah.
one point in time, there was a motorcycle dealer on Lee Highway, really close to Bonnie Oaks, that actually sold Aprilia scooters.
Really? Huh.
Yeah. Do you know where I'm talking about?
I have an idea, but I'm trying to think of, was it where the new Land Rover Jaguar dealer is, or where is that?
You're never going to guess it. I'll just tell you.
Yeah.
Our company.
Really?
At one point in time.
Your building was a scooter dealership.
No, our building at one time, while selling Harleys, also sold Aprilia scooters.
really? I didn't even know that. What the hell?
I know this because we still have an Aprilia scooter in the back.
What?
Why? Is it
I
for
did not
sale?
know that.
I don't know. We have a 50cc Aprilia scooter still in the back.
I don't know that.
It looks like a cheap Chinese knockoff, and the Aprilia is not written the same way as the rest of Aprilias, but it is an Aprilia.
How much do they want for it?
I don't know if it's for sale.
You know how fun that would be?
That's interesting, actually.
Horrible.
That's interesting.
You know what is in the shop right now? In our service department?
What?
An RSV4.
Why?
Because we've hired a new
Why?
tech.
Oh.
Oh.
Really?
It is his motorcycle.
Okay.
Oh.
Interesting.
So, here's why our new tech has an Aprilia. He likes and appreciates Harley Davidsons very much.
Yes.
Enough to go to school for it.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Obviously. Because he's
Yeah,
a Harley
obviously.
tech.
But he said if he owned a Harley, whenever something happened to it, he would feel the need to work on it. He works on motorcycles all day long. He doesn't want to have to work on his own motorcycle.
So why didn't he buy a Honda?
So
Right.
he decided to buy a motorcycle that someone else can work on.
I mean, that makes
Unfortunately,
sense.
he bought a motorcycle that no one in Chattanooga can work.
Can
on.
work.
Yeah. Because I don't think there's an Aprilia dealer in Chattanooga.
Not no more.
Not
No.
not anymore.
I think you're going to have to go out to Knoxville, Nashville, or Atlanta.
I think Atlanta's going to be your best bet.
Yeah, Atlanta's probably the best bet. But then again, it's like Moto Guzzi. Like, Moto Guzzi has a dealership down in Dahlonega.
What if you bought a Modus? Who do you take it to? Do you take it to, like, Mountain View Chevy?
If it breaks, you just throw it away. You're
just
done.
throw it away.
Like, just good luck. It's now wall art. You should drain
Just
all the
hang it
fluids
on
out
the
of it and
wall
mount
and
it.
just mount it.
Yeah, but isn't that a good question? Do you take it to Chevy?
Could you? I don't know. I actually don't know.
It's half of an LS.
Well,
That is true.
I mean, that's true, but still.
It's like, oh no, my cool pack went out. What do I do? Go to AutoZone and order a cool pack for an LS3 Corvette engine.
Can we talk about that for a second? Just trying to find parts for motorcycles. I know Harley. That's not a. You guys are on your own plane, but just trying to find parts.
We really are. Aren't
Yeah,
we?
I mean, like I could go to the Harley. If I had a Harley, had a problem, I could go to the Harley dealership. Anything that's ever been made by Harley, I could probably order it.
You
through
can
their
order
dealership.
it.
Mm.
Yeah.
I can't do that for the Kawasaki. I can't do that for the ZRX, that Kawasaki. I could do it for the Honda. The Valkyrie, they make parts.
That is why.
Yeah.
That is why the numbers about Harleys on the road versus other brands. That's why there's more Harleys on the road. That's why there's more, because what they do actually is by registered vehicles.
Yeah.
Harley Davidson has more registered vehicles on the road in the U.S. than any other brand.
Which legitimately makes sense because Harley is the biggest company in the United States as far as motorcycle sales go.
Well, I mean, between your dealer network, but
Yeah.
also being able to keep vintage motorcycles still on the road.
Yeah. Because as much as me and Lewis will complain about it and say it's not true, it is hard. It is hard to find certain parts for our 70s Kawasaki's.
Well, like I
mean,
said,
mind you, they're 40 years old.
well, like earlier
but-
we were talking about, Harley does very good at superseding parts.
Yeah.
So they might update a part to fit a new vehicle, but if they know that part still fits this other vehicle, they'll make sure you know that.
Yeah.
So you or someone else doesn't have to do a lot of research
Yeah.
to try and find it.
I mean, really, at this point, I mean, every time we have to look at it, majority of the parts, I would say rubber, gaskets, things like that, fork seals. And generally, I'm going to have to go through an aftermarket company. I can't go to Kawasaki and say, hey.
Even when it comes, when you want to get down the aftermarket road, how many different companies can you buy fork seals for your Kawasaki?
I would say at max, maybe 3 or 4. At max.
What about with Harley, you think?
All of them.
I mean, that's the thing. I can open a drag specialties catalog. There are hundreds of brands in there. And some of them don't make fork seals.
Yeah.
But there are hundreds of
Yeah.
brands that make parts for Harleys. And we're talking, half the companies out there that make parts for Harleys aren't even in the drag specialties catalog.
Yeah.
There are several companies out there that make parts for Harleys that aren't in any catalog.
True. That is absolutely true. Although, I don't know if Lewis told you, he finally found a rear master cylinder for his 900.
That is why when Lewis was here,
Finally.
and I tried to say with the Kawasaki, I would do the conversions. I'd keep the engine the same, but do the conversions because realistically, the engine, like you talked about once before, Z1 Enterprises makes you can get a whole block. From them.
I can rebuild an engine. It's all the surrounding pieces, everything.
All the surrounding pieces are the very first things too that become of limited supply. So, anyways, you know what we need to do?
Chop right sell.
Chop right sell. We are over an hour currently.
Talk about how much I
Yep.
hated the Street Glide when I very first rode it.
Do what? Did you?
Did you
Yeah.
really?
I don't remember that.
In Panama, we test drove a Street Glide.
I remember test driving the Street Glide, but I don't remember
I
you
feel
not
like
liking it.
that could be a podcast on its own.
I don't
I
remember
hated
you.
the Street Glide.
Hated it.
Why did you hate it?
Well, it was a stock seat,
Okay.
no backrest, and I came off the sport bike. So I'm like, oh, this is not working for me. I hated it. But now I love it.
Well, you have a different seat on it now.
I do have
And a back.
I have 3. I'm not
We,
even gonna look
the
at
bike left the dealer with a bike rest.
Yeah.
That was one of the things about when we bought it because the deluxe did not have a backrest on it.
Oh, really?
So
No.
on the sale still, I made sure we had a backrest on it.
There we go. Oh.
I'll take that one. Or did you drop one?
Nope. Oh, I got 4, so...
Oh. But you picked through them.
No, I didn't get to pick through them. They were all upside down.
Okay.
Oh, God. Okay. Okay.
Oh. How does that one... I want to put this one back.
Is it the GPZ 900?
Nope, it's the Harley Z90.
Oh, yeah.
That gets drawn a lot.
Put
Heather,
the Z90
Heather, I need
back.
the back.
Heather grabbed one for you.
I need the back. Grab me a chip. And after you grab me a chip, I need you to put this one back.
There's one.
Watch her hand me the GPZ. No, but it's another one that gets drawn quite a bit.
I don't know. I've got one that got drawn quite a bit as well.
Okay.
I don't like mine, so it's fine.
Well, we're going to let you go first, Heather. What 3
Yep.
chips do you have?
All right, I have the Tron bike,
Okay.
Yeah.
the VMAX,
Okay.
and the Africa Twin.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I have my thoughts on what she's going to do. What do you think she's going to do?
She's going to sell all 3 of them.
Yeah, that's about right.
That's about right, actually. If I could, I would.
Okay.
She's
so-
going to ride the VMAX.
So VMAX, Tron bike, African Twin. I know what I would do. I don't know what she's going to do, but I know what I would do.
The issue is I don't really know what to do here.
That's the
Because
fun part of
The
this game.
easiest thing about it is to either start with which one do you not like the most?
Which one do you want to sell?
Which one would you absolutely not want? Or which one would you go, oh, I would love to ride this motorcycle, whether it's customizing it or not?
okay,
Those are the 2 easiest things to
the
figure
one
out.
I don't want is the Africa Twin. I'll put that out there. I don't want it.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
She's going to ride the Tron bike.
You're going to ride the Tron bike?
It's like an adventure bike. It's too tall for me. I don't want it.
Yeah, but
I don't want
Okay,
it.
all right.
you still hadn't tried.
This is her choice.
It's
If
my
that's
choice.
what she wants to do.
Yeah, and some people buy vintage Kawasaki's. Go ahead, Heather.
Not me. I don't do that.
Go ahead,
Sir,
Heather.
I could-
And then there's the VMAX and the Tron bike.
Okay.
She's going to take the VMAX to the drag strip every weekend.
Well,
And pretend to be the fastest
if
person
you say
out
you
there.
don't know what to do, I'm going to give you a piece of advice. Customize the VMAX, ride the Tron bike, because I don't think there's anything you can do to the Tron bike.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, there's really nothing I can do to that Tron bike to make it even.
Yeah.
No.
No, that's a novelty.
That's a novelty.
That's a bike night motorcycle.
Yes. Yeah.
Hell
There's
yeah.
nothing I could do to that.
We would trail that bastard down to Panama.
Or an
Yeah.
MTV Cribs motorcycle.
That is the MTV Cribs.
So you're going to ride?
I'm going to ride the Tron bike because there's nothing I can do to it.
Okay.
I want to see one in person. I've never seen
I was hoping,
I mean-
and I think you had the same plan. Customize the African Twin,
Yep,
ride
make
the
it shorter so she can do
ride the VMAX. See,
Sell
that's the
the
thing. You
Tron
could have
bike.
customized the African Twin, put a shorter seat on it, shorter
I
suspension,
just don't like
skid
them.
pan, exhaust, and then sold the Tron bike.
Yep.
I just don't like
That's
the
what I
Africa
would've done.
Twins.
Daniel,
All right, so I have the Dumb and Dumber scooter. so we have written on here D&D, and I was
D&D.
like, the first thing I thought of was like
Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and
scooter?
Dragons? What?
No, it's the Dumb and Dumber scooter,
you roll a 20, sir. You shall not pass.
the 636,
Okay.
and a Ducati Monster.
Oh. So just to point out real quick, Daniel, huge Kawasaki fan,
Yes,
but has a soft place in his heart for Ducati Monster.
I do enjoy them, even though they tried to kill me.
I do like a monster too. It's fine.
So
I had a Monster when I first got here.
No,
it wasn't a Ducati.
Oh,
That would be great if they made their own energy drink.
Right.
Ducati energy drink.
I'm going to sell the D&D scooter because there is some dum-dum out there that's going to buy it.
Oh, yeah.
And
You
yeah.
could probably trade somebody for a shag van.
Yes. I'd love that. I'm going to turn the 636 into a pure track motorcycle.
All right.
I'm going to strip off everything extra, no turn signals, no headlight.
Yeah, I
mirrors,
don't think
anything
you have to
like
go down the list of what you would do if we know track bike.
it. Yeah.
It would have no lights on it,
Yeah.
and it would have safety wires on every bolt.
And a fucking open exhaust and power commander, tuner. I would make it as good of a track bike as a 636 could be, which is actually a pretty good track bike.
And you would just ride the Ducati.
It's a cheater 600. And yeah, I would just ride the Ducati because I need to own one again and be the master of my future.
Now let's see if you know what I would do.
Okay.
Are you ready?
So do you actually want me to guess when you...
Yeah, do you want us to guess here?
I'll tell you what 3 I have.
Okay.
Okay.
Y'all tell me what you think I'm going to do.
Okay.
Because you'll probably be right. Both of you will probably be right. And I'll tell you how we'll do this. I'll ask y'all. So I have a Supermoto.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I have a VLX. And I have a R18. Okay.
Heather, I think we can both agree that he's going to sell the R18.
What do you think, Heather? What do you think I'm going to do with the R18?
Hi, Ginger. You're probably going to sell it.
It is sold.
Okay.
All right, which one am I customizing?
So you have the Supermoto. All right.
I have a Supermoto and a VLX.
Do you have a particular Supermoto in mind? I mean, I know it's a general chip, but I'm just for clarification.
I mean, when I think Supermoto, like if I had a Supermoto,
yeah,
it would probably be the new CRF 450L,
okay,
just with Supermoto wheels and tires.
Okay.
Because realistically, it's a
There's
street
not
legal
really-
dirt bike.
Yeah, there's not really.
And all
a
you have to do is
true
add Supermoto wheels
yeah.
and tires to it. Well, there is if you have like a DRZ SM, stuff like that.
SM.
Or a Honda CRF 230L.
Yeah.
Or 230M, actually, is what it was.
Yeah.
But
just a Supermoto.
But it literally is generalized Supermoto.
You're going to ride the Supermoto and customize the VLX.
Absolutely. A VLX is going to turn into a bobber. That Supermoto is going to be a great bike for me to put my backpack on and just ride back and forth to work.
Honestly,
yeah, because you've been wanting a Supermoto anyway, just to ride, so yeah.
Yep.
I think the Supermotos are fun. I think they'd be great motorcycles to have.
Well, if I can ever afford one, I would literally, and I've told her, if I could afford it, the only problem is new is they're about $11,000 and used they're still about $9,500. I would buy a Honda CRF 450L.
Yeah.
I would probably maybe put a different handlebar on it so I had a little bit more of a rise to it and a different exhaust. Otherwise, I would just put Supermoto wheels and tires on a CRF 450L.
Yeah. See, I've sat on the DRZ 400 SM. I like it. It's a great.
So here's the thing.
I just don't think I'd ever use it.
Here's
I
the
would
thing.
not use it for what it's
Here's
worth.
the thing about a DRZ 400 SM. If you park it next to like the 450L, we're only talking about a 50cc difference. But physically, the bike, the Suzuki looks smaller physically.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, I think it'd be fun. I don't see anywhere in my riding time that I generally do now where it would change anything for me.
Well, like the 400 SM is almost more like they took a dirt bike and did everything they could to make it road capable.
Yeah.
Okay. The Honda CRF 450L is like they took a dirt bike and just did the bare minimum they could to make it street legal.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
that's why I
can
think the
see
CRF 450L would be more fun as a Supermoto. And actually, in the current day and age, people that are currently building Supermotos that are street legal use, it is the CRF 450L. People are going, you can Google CRF 450L Supermoto. There are hundreds of them that pop up because it's already a fantastic motorcycle. Like we said, it's from Honda, so it's from the dominant house from the Japanese market.
It's not, nothing's going to go wrong with it. It's going to function the way you want it to.
And you don't, if you want to do that bike as a Supermoto, you don't have to do anything to it but change out the wheels and tires. And that's as simple as set of 17s, front and rear, spoke wheels and tires.
Call it a day.
With sport bike tires.
Yep. And you could call it a day at that point. It'd be just
and you're done.
as good.
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to want to ride the interstate.
No. It's not made for that 80
it'd
to
probably be
90 miles an hour.
Well, I don't think you'd want to cruise all day long at 60 or 65 either.
No.
But, like, for me, going to work, I don't have to get on the interstate. I have multiple options. Back and forth to work.
Yeah.
So.
Well, as we all know, you need to apparently ride a little bit further to work every morning.
100%.
I don't know if you've told the podcast viewers of
Apparently.
your current issue or your most recent issue.
Yeah.
No, so the issue's been repaired. But if you remind me, next week, we will go down that rabbit hole. I think we spoke briefly on it, actually.
I think we mentioned that you had an issue, but I don't think we actually went into detail.
Well, no,
Well,
I think I mentioned
was.
something about letting your vehicle warm up, make sure you run.
Yeah.
We did say something.
I think
It
it
was
was
like
about
a
that,
snippet.
yeah. It was a little snippet, but we didn't actually go into detail about why and what.
But why it happened, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go down that on
I think that
another
was
episode.
a conversation we had prior to the podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
We'd actually have to listen to our own podcast to remember that.
It's really funny when you tell someone that rides 8,500 to 11,000 miles a year that, hey, you need to ride your motorcycle more.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell?
Hey everybody, this is Sean at White Lightning Harley Davidson. I want to thank you for listening to the Daily Biker Podcast. You can reach the podcast on Facebook or Instagram at The Daily Biker, or you can email the podcast at thedailybiker@gmail.com. Be sure to keep an eye on White Lightning Harley Davidson social media pages for the most up-to-date information on all our events and where you can find the boys.